Hello everyone. In this video, we are covering round 5 for display ad campaigns. And in this particular round, we're going to be doing some remarketing. But first, let's start off where we left off in our last video, where I was covering round 4. So I did some interest-based display ad campaigns, and here were my results. So I did manage to get a lot of revenue and return on ad spend compared to last time. So if we can, you can also see in your results kind of how you're doing. So remember, I'm still working on my search ad campaigns as well. So I always want to double check how I'm doing on each of my keywords. And remember, I have these ad quality indicators, so I can always check and see if I need to make any improvements. So for example, I see some of my keywords, even though I have excellent, I'm seeing 0 conversions. So that's something that I want to go and take a look at when I'm updating and optimizing my search ad campaigns. And also I can look at my display ad campaigns. And I can see that I allocated $4,000 and I spent all of it. If you completed round 4 and you tried to allocate, $4,000 or $2,000, whatever it was, but all of your budget wasn't spent, then it might be that either your ads were not relevant to the target personas, or, your CPC was either too high or too low, or it may be that you didn't have a wide enough net. So if you didn't have enough ad groups, or you didn't have enough ads, then it may be that you were just targeting too small of a market. Because remember, CPC is cost per click. So if you're trying to get, lots of impressions, lots of clicks, you need to have a wide enough market. So if you only targeted, for example, females, or you only targeted, you only created one ad group, in other words, then it's very narrow and you're only going to get so many impressions, which means you're only going to get so many clicks. So what you'll see is, for example, I created an ad backpack display for our American Dream backpack, and I created several different ad groups, And I talked about in my last video some A/B testing and also some kind of discovering how effective some are compared to others. And so I looked at my Back to School Mindy, and I also looked at Backpacker Adventure Tom. But I would also recommend expanding it out, because here, remember, we have several different customer profiles. So perhaps I could also try to target hipster mom Cami in my next one. So because she was also looking for backpacks, and especially because I can create different display ads for each of them. So here's just a quick peek at one of mine, Back to School Mindy Affinity. So I named it that way so that I would know, this particular ad group, I was only looking at back to school. And I did test it to see how low I could go, and I was actually able to go as low as 10 cents for my CPC because of the relevance of my ad, and because I had a conversion rate of 93 cents, which is really good here. So I can look and see how well these were performing. So it looks like I had a really good conversion rate. This is higher than average. Remember in my video last time, I was suggesting that maybe the conversion rate could be 0.5. So this is well above my expectations, but my click-through rate is still pretty small. I was hoping that would also be around 0.5, and it's only 0.22 here. So I could still improve on my click-through rate. Perhaps I need to improve my ads, my ad copy to do that. And I did have, several different ads there as well. So what are we doing in this round? Well, let's take a look. You'll want to, read through your scenario, read through your inbox, and you'll see that in this particular round, we are now going to create one, or at least one, retargeting display campaign for we're looking at the American Dream backpack, and we will want to target multiple personas. So we're going to create multiple ad groups as well. Okay, so we can also continue expanding and experimenting with our interest-based, but now we're going to do a retargeting campaign. All right, so as I said, we do this every single round. We're going to go in and double check how everything is performing. You know, I did make changes in my previous round, so I need to double check that everything is working well. For example, I do have a few keywords that are giving me negative profits. I need to double check, hey, was my bid too low or too high? Was it that this keyword just wasn't really effective for me? Or perhaps it's because this keyword is pretty expensive. So for now, I'm just going to go ahead and pause this. But you could instead decide, hey, I really like that keyword. It was giving me a lot of impressions. You can check on impressions. Or it was giving me a really good click-through rate or so forth. And you may just need to adjust to make sure that that keyword is, put into your landing page and put into your search ad appropriately. So, there are multiple things that you can do. And I would recommend, experimenting, write it down and just check out what happens. So at the very least, you got to make sure that these are working well. So my conversion rate is 0% and it's giving me negative profits. So I'm just going to go ahead and pause my keywords. Okay, I'm having a little error here, but what I will do if I do have an error, remember you can always click the help button and get support. So I won't do that right now, but something's going wrong with my Stukent as I speak. So next time, it may work next. It may just be that I'm logging in at an awkward time, but you can always press that get support button and you can contact them if there's any problem like that. So again, I would try and pause these, or I would adjust your campaigns appropriately. You can always also adjust your bid. You can also go in and check these out. You can see, hey, I had two of these and one of them was way better than the other. You want to check if there's, your return on ad spend, which one is the most successful, and put more budget into those, right? So you have to adjust things accordingly. The other thing that I did last round, which I didn't show in the video, is I created a display ad for one of the new product lines. Okay, so I did make one for my Switch product line. I made one for the Buoy Switch luggage. And so I looked at that landing page and, I decided, I looked at the keywords and I tried to create something that would work out for there. So you can see my Switch luggage here. I had City Hopper Sue, who I was trying to target. And this was one of my ads. So travel with Buoy, extra space and organization. And so I put in some short headlines and descriptions that I was hoping matched up with the landing page that we've been given. And it looks like this one was actually pretty successful, because if I go in and I check out my results, I got a lot of profit from my Switch luggage, and I only put in $900 on there. So in that case, I may want to increase my budget on this particular one, increase my daily budget, and I may also want to try out promoting the other one. So maybe the Switch luggage carry-on. Although this is less of a cost, or sorry, less of a price. However, I don't know what the profit is because I haven't been given that information. So I don't know what my profit margins are for these. I have to only guess. So I'm just going to go ahead for this round. I'm going to create also a display ad campaign for the Buoy Switch luggage carry-on, and we'll see how that goes. Okay. So let's start off though with our backpack display remarketing. So what does it mean? We're going to go into our ad campaign. We're going to do our display ads. And our goal is still to increase our revenue. So for me, I'm just going to stick with sales for right now. And I'm going to do my backpack, American Dream backpack, and retargeting. And we will put that in for We'll keep it at 90 for now. I can always adjust it, and I'll press continue. And remember that I have some different personas. So I do want to target Mindy again because she was one of my main personas. I had 10 cents last time. So I'm going to see if that still works this time. We'll give it a go. I would recommend, you can always go higher than that. Remember, we did the maximum CPC that you might want to have so that you're still getting a profit, but you can adjust these. You could also create one campaign with a default CPC and an identical campaign with a different CPC and see which one is more successful. So you can always do some A/B testing in that way, but I'll keep it for that, like that for now. And you'll see that last time this was not available, but now we are able to do some retargeting. So you can target people who have done one of these activities. And if you're trying to get sales, you think about it, which one is going to be more successful, that they've actually just visited a homepage or visited a blog, or that they actually added something to their cart. Okay, so I'm thinking that this is going to be my most profitable conversion. However, I also want to create some ad groups where they visited the dream product page and maybe they visited the Buoy homepage, because that one is going to be a wider market. So I might cast a bigger net and I might get some more impressions. So I'm going to create multiple of these. I'm going to go ahead and start with Mindy, let's say, visited the American Dream product page. So visited American Dream, and in this case, although the previous one where we were doing our interest-based campaigns, I said don't mix and match, but in this case you can mix and match. So you could create some more audience options if you want to. So I might do shopping, and I might also do back to school. So I'll write that in, and I could also do female, and I know she's 18 to 24. So I'm going to say age and gender. And I'll leave this one blank because I'm not really sure if she is a parent or not. But again, I'm going to create multiple ad groups, because if I only leave one, then that's leaving my impression opportunities pretty low. So this is one of them, and I'll say create. And again, we're doing the backpacks, and I want to select the one that is a backpack. And I've created my headlines over here. You can probably do some better ones. I do encourage you to try ChatGPT to give you some good ideas, and to also edit for grammar and spelling, and making sure that it's matching up with your landing page and keywords. So always go back, double check what your landing page was, and use headlines and descriptions that match up with that. So you wouldn't want to just copy what I have here, because maybe you have a different landing page, right? So this is tied a little bit to my landing page, and your landing page may look a little bit different. And also this is not fully optimized, right? So I could continue improving this, but here's the one that I had created last time. So I'm going to give it a go. Now, this is what I had for last time, but remember, this is for somebody who has visited the product page. So I might want to change the long headline to something that kind of reminds Mindy, hey, did you forget something? Or I might, add in a little bit more verbiage that is assuming that she's going to convert, right? Here, it might be more awareness based, like I'm at the top of the funnel, and I might here, because she's shown some interest, be more aggressive with my call to action. And so you can test and adjust that as you want and see what is more appropriate and what kind of gives you better results. Okay, so experiment. The more you kind of create, the more you try it out, you're probably going to get some better results. So here's my first one, and I have that in my display ads right here. My ad groups. Where's my retargeting? And so you can see my retargeting is right here. It's a little cut off right there with my ... So I did not name my campaign the best way I could have, because previously I had done AD for American Dream. So do try to be consistent with your campaign naming system, because as you can see, when I start building this out and getting more and more ad groups, it becomes very cumbersome and hard for me to find things at a glance. So if you plan ahead with a good naming system, you can avoid something like this, right? So let's go back to our campaign. And this is the one I'm working on. So I'm going to create another ad group. Remember, the previous one that I created was Mindy visited the American Dream. Remember, we can always click edit. So visited the American Dream product page. And I'm just going to copy this so that I remember. So let's go back and create ad group. And for this one, I'm just going to say visited American Dream product page. So we'll do it like that. And we'll do all the same to see how it works, because I can always create more and see if it's working well. So I'm going to copy that and create my CPC, continue, and my backpack. And I'm going to put in the exact same ad because I want to see how it compares with my different targeting options. Okay. Now, if I see that there's a big difference across my targeting options, then of course I'm going to want to change these. Okay. So that's kind of how I'm thinking about it. So I have one there. And again, my ad group will be over here. So I just did visited American Dream product page, visited American Dream. So I'm going to copy that and keep going. So create ad group. And maybe I want it to be added, right? So actually that they added a product. So I'm going to say added. And I can do shopping, back to school, and female, and continue. And so I'll keep going through all of these steps, and I'll select things as I go until I've kind of built out all of these ad groups that I want. And of course, I'll want to go in and double check that I did everything. I think I created a mistake over here. So visited American Dream product page, visited American Dream. And so that was a mistake. I meant to say visited Buoy homepage. And so I can check that one and select. And so I'll keep continuing with my campaign. I'm going to build this out that I continue. Now it's not only Mindy, so I also want to create some ad groups for Tom. Okay, but I'm going to finish off my Mindy ad groups first, and then I will put in some Tom ad groups, and then we can come back together and work on another switch luggage campaign. And so once you have filled out your retargeting campaign for the American Dream backpack, you should have several ad groups and several display ads, and you will find that you maybe have some more budget left over. And also, you want to think about reallocating your budget to go towards your more profitable and revenue campaigns. So if I'm getting a lot of revenue from something compared to others, then I want to put more of my money toward that. So right now, my lowest return on ad spend is my duffel search campaign. I could try to optimize that, but I also might realize that the duffel is just not as popular of a product. And also the duffel is going to get me the lowest revenue because it's the lowest price, right? It's only $40 compared to $60 and $65. And it also has a $4 production cost. So if you calculate the retail price minus the production cost, you'll see that I'm getting less money on my duffel as well. And remember that the audience that wanted a duffel, who was it? It was Energetic Jill. She had below average disposable income. So I'm thinking that this is my, least profitable, least revenue kind of campaign. So right now I'm just going to go ahead and pause this one. I can always come back to it in a later round, but I want to focus on my display ad campaigns, especially because right now it is round 5 and we're working on display campaigns. So that gives me some more money if I pause it. And so I also could say, hey, what's my other here? If I don't show the pause campaigns, I can check. Well, I'm making some amazing return on ad spend with my Switch luggage. So I definitely want to amp up my budget there. My messenger, I'm not making as much either. So I might even pause this one if I want to, right? Because it's not being as effective for me, or I can go ahead and, lower my daily budget there and focus instead. So that's giving me some more money. I definitely want to increase this one. So I'm going to go ahead and do that for now. So if I'm spending $60 per day on that one, that gives me nothing left over. So maybe that's a little bit too high because I did want to create one more campaign. So right now I'll just keep it at 40. If you do these, just make sure that you have checked your CPC is still appropriate for each campaign. I did do that in my Excel sheet, in my planning Excel sheet. I kind of put in some numbers, so I did double check these that they're working. So what's my ROA here? This one's really good. I've put in some more budget on that. My messenger I've lowered, and my retargeting campaign I've put in 2,700 because I do want to focus on that a little bit. But I'm going to go ahead and create one more campaign, and I'm going to do a display, and I'm going to do sales, and we'll do the Switch luggage carry-on, and you can choose to do a retargeting, or you could do an interest-based display campaign. So you can decide how you want your focus to be. I'm going to go ahead and do a retargeting because this is going to be giving me a higher conversion rate, as you'll find out. And the reason you get a higher conversion rate with retargeting is because you're targeting consumers who've actually taken an action and know about you, right? If you only do interest-based targeting, you're just focusing on somebody who's interested in backpacks or interested in hiking, then it's not guaranteeing that they're actually interested in your product. Whereas with my retargeting, I'm specifically targeting someone who's come to the Buoy website, they've added a product to their cart, or they visited a specific product page. So I'm much more likely to get interested consumers, and you'll see that you're going to get a higher conversion rate there. So looks like my $20 is what I had left over. So we'll say continue. And here I'm still targeting Sue because she was the one who was interested in luggage. So I'm going to go ahead and target her. And I'll go ahead and keep my CPC that I had. And remember, the Switch is not an American Dream. So I probably want her to have added other products to the cart. Okay, so we're going to test that out, right? And then, I might choose that she was a travel buff and that she's female. So I can say she's added other product, travel buff, and female. And so I go ahead and do that, press continue. And so here I need to make sure that I'm selecting the correct URL, right? So Switch carry-on luggage, because Switch luggage is the one I did last time. So Switch carry-on, and Switch carry-on is right here. And so I need to create a long headline, a short headline, and descriptions for this. So what I want to do to create that is I need to go into the landing page. Now I don't have it open right now, and I can't leave this. So I'm just going to say test just so that I can go ahead and create it, and I'll go back in and edit this. So I'm going to create ad, and you'll see that in my ad, one of these is for, here's my test. So I'm going to need to go in and click edit on that one. But first, I can find out about it by clicking on the landing page, right? So I want to use keywords. right? So if I zoom in a little bit, I want to use some keywords specifically from this landing page, right? So what is there, right? And I also want to be using keywords that is for Sue. And so I want to have that open. And so City Hopper Sue right here. And so you could do like we did in the round one video, you could copy all of this information in. You can copy this into a Word document or a Google Sheets, or sorry, a Google Docs, and copy all of this information as well. And then get some inspiration from ChatGPT for some of your ad copy. Okay, so you can start with that and then adjust it to based on your own landing page as sorry, this is the landing page you're doing. So you got to make sure that it matches up with that. So what do I have? I have designed for busy professionals. Carry-on will fit all of your essentials for an overnight business trip or quick getaway. I have the value propositions here. So I want to make sure that I'm using those keywords, right? Perfect for travel, free shipping. I want to highlight free shipping in some of my descriptions. I want to say that it has space for all the essentials. I want to say, that maybe it's durable, that it is easy, right? So I want to try and find whatever keywords that Sue is going to be interested in and include those in my ad copy. Okay, so I'm not going to show you what I end up using, but you can, use your resources that you have and try to create an ad copy that's going to entice City Hopper Sue to go ahead and click on it and put that in right here. Go ahead and edit your long headlines, short headlines, and descriptions. Okay, and so once you have finalized all of your campaigns, you've made sure that your balance is 0, so you're going to be using up all of your budget. Then you're ready to go ahead and press run simulation. But a reminder, okay, just because you said that you're going to use all of your budget doesn't mean that it's all going to be used, right? If you created a campaign and your ads were not aligned with a persona or they were not aligned with the landing page, then your quality score is going to be low and it's not going to be relevant, right? Remember, you can go in and look at all of your results and you can see some of your ad quality indicators, right? So you want to review your CPC if it's too high or too low. You want to make sure that you are having a high enough market to kind of to target, okay? Because if you're only targeting one small space of the market, then you're not going to get as many impressions. So also think about that. Okay, anybody who's going to be relevant for this product, you want to target them. Look and include more target personas. Anybody who's interested in that product, make sure that you're targeting them. Also, okay, you can think about your ad strength. So make sure that you have short headlines and descriptions. Make sure you've checked for spelling mistakes. Make sure that you are targeting the right audience, okay, in each of your ads and don't have profanity. Okay, so you can, experiment with this, use A/B testing so that you can also check out your CPC, right? If you're not sure that your CPC is appropriate, you could always create one campaign, 2 campaigns. One of them has a lower CPC, one of them has a higher CPC. You can always test and see which one's working out better for you, and then pause the one that was not as effective. You can increase the number of ad groups that you have. Remember, ad groups are going to be used for each of your customer profiles. So in our search campaigns, we were creating one for City Hopper Sue and Up and Comer Raj and whatever it might be for those keywords. And in our display ad campaigns, we're still targeting our customer personas, but we're also targeting perhaps different markets, right? Because we talked about in the last lecture video or the last video about if you have interest-based display ad campaigns, are you focused more on affinity or in-market person targeting options? And also, do you know with surety what your demographics are? For example, I talked about if you have some overlap in the age groups or it doesn't actually say if they're a parent or not, then you might be limiting or excluding your actual persona. So if I said, oh, I'm going to target City Hopper Sue, and I said that she's not a parent, okay, then I'm missing out on the City Hopper Sue persona who is a parent because it doesn't actually tell me that she is or is not, even though she's married, even though she's this age group. It's not clear compared to here, married with children, right? I don't actually know for sure. So I could select unknown, but then I exclude the market that is City Hopper Sue and with a child. So always think about that as well. You can always create another ad group for the possibility that you're targeting City Hopper Sue who does have kids, you're targeting City Hopper Sue who doesn't have kids. And that way you have a higher impression possibility. And then as long as you're creating those targeted ads and you're creating the targeted ad that is relevant for this persona and relevant to the landing page, then you should be good to go. And then you can always go in and remember your column options, double check how everything's performing, pause the ones that aren't working, edit the ones that aren't working, go back to your landing pages and adjust. Remember, we're mostly working on our American Dream backpack, so you'd go in and adjust that to make sure that it is matching up with your persona. Okay, so that's all I have for you for this video, and I wish you all good luck. And if you have any questions or anything, please write down in the comments, and I will see you in the next video. Thanks.